Many things come up, especially during the day, especially today. And everything seems to be talking about around the theme of impermanence. We don't know what's going to happen next. Initially, Sister Wayama was going to do the talk. And then she wasn't. And I thought, well, maybe Ajahn Nisarna was going to do the talk. And he wasn't doing that either. So it's hard to plan these things sometimes. But as a monk, we're encouraged to kind of go with the flow. Take whatever comes up and not be worried, not worried about it too much. Kind of relax and ease ourselves into the situation and see what happens. But the other thing was, in terms of impermanence, other than, the merry-go-round of talks, was this afternoon we heard news that Shirley Jackson also passed away. And that's also very suddenly. Apparently from what Cherry, her daughter, said, that one minute she was preparing lunch for her husband, feeling a headache and then vomiting, and then, they called an ambulance. And apparently she had a brain hemorrhage. She passed away, I think, late last night. And it just, it just kind of smacks you in the face. Things are very, very not sure. You never know what's going to happen next. So a lot of times it's a waste of time to plan too far ahead. Just to be really in the present moment. But the only way we can stay in the present moment, is to have this faith, this trust. Everything is going to be all right. I know some monks, I've given talks to before, and they says, everything's going to be all right. It's the biggest superstition that you can have. And I'm going to have a spin on that. Everything will be okay as long as you have the trust and the mindfulness to be aware of what's happening. Even with you're facing, sickness, horrible pain, but you have the consciousness, as long as you're aware, then you can also incline your mind towards positive mind states. Incline your mind towards peace, incline your minds towards letting go. As long as we're aware. But a lot of times, for most of us, it's we're caught up. We're not aware of what's happening because we're caught up in sense pleasure of getting the next best thing. Planning, obsessing about the next holiday, or maybe the next iPhone, whatever's coming out. Looking, you turn on the television or you read the newspaper. It's always the next best thing. Everybody's waiting for it. Or our whole life hinges on the next best thing, the next boyfriend you're going to get, the next girlfriend, the next job, the next promotion, the next new car. It's always the next best thing. That's where happiness lies. Out there in the next best thing, something you can buy, probably very expensive. And that's where real happiness is. But in Dhamma, we turn it around. We say, no, it's not the next best thing. It's whatever's happening right now. Here is where all the happiness you can find. In the present moment, right inside this heart, this mind and body. This is where happiness is, right here. You don't have to go anywhere else. You don't have to be anything else. The mind that you have and the body that you have is good enough to find peace, to find fulfillment, right here and now. And as monks and nuns living the simple lifestyle, we're providing an example for people to say, yes, you don't need, 3-story house to be happy. You don't need a partner to be happy. You don't need, a healthy body to be happy. You don't need to be young and energetic to be happy. All you need to do is to kind of train the mind, have faith and trust to be in the present moment, to incline towards kindness, incline towards peace. And that's where happiness will come from. The story I have about, but like anything, it's a gradual path. You can't expect to sit here for half an hour and be blissed out of your skull. For some people, it happens very quickly. For other people, it's a gradual process. It's moments by moments. You want to experience, the happiness, the bliss of meditation is there. But it starts with contentment in the present moment. It starts with feeling this is good enough. Whatever's happening right now is good enough. And we look for the positive things. And that's why my two favorite topics I always talk about day in, day out, especially if you go to Armadale, is gratitude and contentment. You can't go wrong with gratitude and contentment. And one story I have of gratitude is actually, I'm very grateful for the Catholic priest who I heard this story from. Because most of you probably don't know, my parents are Catholic, and they're quite regular churchgoer. So of course, when I visited them a few years ago, we went to church with them a few times. And I heard this great discourse that he gave about gratitude. And the story goes something like this. There was this Catholic priest, and he was doing some exercise. So he's running around the block of the church early morning to get some exercise. So every day he runs around the block. And I think one day a week, he noticed there's this boy who stands in the corner, and not the best corner, not a very busy corner, but he stands in that corner and he sells some bagel. Okay? But the boy is not very smart, because it's not a very busy corner, but he stands there anyway. He doesn't move to another corner. So anyway, he stands and the priest, jogs around the block. He sees this boy there. So after a while, every time he jogs around the boy, the bagel stand, he throws him 2 quarters. And then he doesn't stop for the bagel. He keeps on jogging, past this boy. This boy looks at him, can't understand what's happening. And then next week, the same thing happens again. He jogs by, throws 2 quarters to the boy, and then keeps on running. And then the boy says, okay, yeah, whatever. And then after a few years, he's done this. He throws the 2 quarters, and the boy finally has the courage to wave him down. It's like, stop. And then the priest just looks around and smiles. And he tells the boy, I bet you're wondering why I always, throw 2 quarters at you and never stop for the bagel. But the boy said, no, that's not why I stopped you. I just want to tell you that today, the price of bagel has gone up to 60 cents. And that's gratitude and contentment. We're never happy with the 50 cents, looking for the next 10 cents, always wanting more. Nothing's ever good enough, even though you're getting a free 50 cents. And sometimes we have to look at ourselves, We lived. We're so well provided for. It's a great place to be. But yet, sometimes in our mind, always looking for, what can I get more out of this? What can I get more out of Ajahn Brahm? How can I get him to teach me more? What can I get more out of my husband, my wife? And gratitude just cuts all that away. Says, okay, it's not what can I do? What can I get more out of life? But what can I do to life? What can I offer to life? What can I offer to Ajahn Brahm? What can I offer to my husband or my wife or my kid? How can I enrich their lives? And that's what gratitude does. It cuts away all that. And the mind that's concerned about other people's happiness is a really bright mind. Because we're not, this mind, we're always thinking about me and mine, my worries, my pains. It has to be very, very contracted. It has to be very, very dull. And nothing's ever good enough. But once we have the courage, once we have the inspiration, just to change that attitude around just a little bit, then wow, life takes on a completely different meaning. Life becomes much more expansive. It's not about me and my wants and what's happening, what's wrong with my life. But it's like, how can I help other people? How can I be there for people? How I can give more, to the people around me? How much more can I give to the Buddhist society?